Hello people, right, I've had a few questions regarding this place. I'm going to do this place, but we'll get to that in a minute. Hoik! Eat some. Since God knows when. Oh, bastard. I think it was when Good released his map thing. I seem to remember around about that time it became that wheat doesn't need water. I can prove to you there's no water here. There you go, water free. This is when I leveled it out. I was going to build a mob trap thing under there, but never really got around to it. I've got a sneeze coming on. Excuse me 1 second. Oh, that was positively tantric. It took so long to come out. Alright, now the tree thing. This is what happens if you don't put glass above it. Or rather, plant beyond the reach. And this is why we put glass here, because these things are a pain in the arse to mow. Cut down. Pain in the ass. That's fun. I'm enjoying that. Okay, so you're missing a fair amount of glass. What the hell happened to all that? That is some serious overground. Okay, note to self, do not use the two end ones. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, it's got out of control. Checking for no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. The glass is 8 high. Look at it. That's vastly huge. It's only these trees, the normal original trees, that you can plant like this. Again, you've been able to do this for quite a while. Relatively recently they've made it so that you can do it with bone meal to do it, but it has been quite a while. But all you need is a lot of light. You see I've got a torch every other, and then opposite every other, but offset one. That's what we need. Just plant them, walk away. These guys need to be every other to grow, and that's not always a guarantee, as you can see. And these guys need a gap of 2 at least. They're buggers, don't grow very many of them. Should probably grow more really. They also need a higher limit usually. That said, they seem to be quite short ones. As I understand it, let's get rid of that. Pick up those. When you bone a sapling, it calculates the height, and for these in particular, if it tries to grow higher than the space it's got, it uses up the bone meal, but you don't get the tree. What's going on there? Just came in here to find a creeper wandering around in the middle of the town square. An Enderman apparently. These boys are dumb, they really are. Just had to get rid of a set of table and chairs there because they were getting stuck on it. Because they are stupid. Alright, let's get away from here and go do what we are doing this week. BRB. Okay, we are back. We are at the farm, and this is what we've been working on. It's hurly-burly messy face. As you can see over here, I've done a bit of terraforming. That took a while, not least because I had to go and create a couple of spoons, which meant doing a lot of Enderman harvesting, and took a while, and I got loads of crappy things, and it was generally a pain in the bum. But leveled that out now. Far more than I actually needed, as it turns out, but never mind. And let's say this is what we've got, which is a thing that does this. Now, for those of you that are slightly confused, this is tree farm, or at least it will be. Popsy tree in there, grow it, push the button, tree goes up there, out there, and resets itself. I went through a lot of designs. Maybe we'll have a look in my single player world later on, but originally I was trying to push the tree down into the ground, but I was having a great deal of trouble once the sand stroke gravel had done the job. I had a loop that worked fine. It was fully automatic. It would the gravel would drop down, it would come around, it would go all the way back up, and it would drop again. But it needs X amount between the piston forcing it downwards and the top of the tree, and I was having great difficulty in ballast, I suppose. Sort of an expansion tank of gravel. In the end I've gone for this design, which is similar to the one that Nebris has used. It's not exactly copying his. He got his from a video somewhere, although last time I spoke to him, which was a while back, he couldn't remember where. I couldn't find it either, but so I've had to kind of, I went and had a look at his and worked out that there was a loop with this bit here. This is the key bit, and the loop pushing it up and then that removing itself and it dropping down, and the rest I've kind of worked out. So let's go and have a look at it. Obviously there's the button, there's a drop. So all this is just taking the power down from the button to this. Now this shape, click on here, there's torch there, you may remember is the flip-flop latch RS NOR, that's what it's called, RS NOR. So when the button's pressed, this lights up, which lights up this, turning it on. Which lights up this, which then sends a signal out. This is the key working signal. It goes through this, which is just a time delay, all the way around there and back to there again, which then trips the RS NOR and turns it off back to this state. So that's all that does. This line here comes up there. That goes all the way up, and all this does is fire this one, which pushes this piston in. And obviously when that timer's counted out and it trips off, it sucks it back in again. This line comes to this, which is, let's just break that, let's break that, which is piston clock. It's laggy thanks to the wonderful world of SMP. Set to 6. So all that does is there's a redstone torch under there, as you can see, and when the block's above it, it powers this line. When the block's not above it, it doesn't. And likewise, when the block's on it, it powers this, which powers that, which turns it off, which unpowers that, which shuts it back again. So it's, and with a full signal into it, it's just permanently powered. So that is how that works. That signal then comes into this. This block is, hang on 1 second, don't you dare stand on my laptop again, cat. All day. Every time she's walked past the laptop, she's walked across the keyboard instead of walking around it. I'm watching you. Naughty cats. Where was I? Yes. Goes into here. That goes up there and does some stuff up there, which we'll do within a minute. This drags the current through the block around here, which is firing this piston and this piston. This has to be up when it's stationary. If it's down, weird things happen to these blocks, whether it's sand or gravel, and they kind of collapse in on themselves and it drops, they just break down to about 3 high. It's very weird. So that's why that's inverted. Basically the signal comes out here. This is on 1, 2 delay. This is on a 3 delay. So that drops. And in the time it takes for that to drop, this gravel hasn't dropped. This is fired. And so it's filled the gap. And that shuts back. This pile drops down. This pile obviously goes up. And it drops, pushes in, blah blah blah, repeats. Pretty straightforward there. Right. this is going out to something else which actually we don't need anymore. Change the design a little bit, so forget about that. This does not exist. Cool. This is another timed signal. So again, when the button's pressed, this lights up. There's 2 ticks. Bam, turns that. Which turns that torch off, which pulls the block of dirt that has the plant growing on it out the way, so that we can, excuse me, obviously push that up. But when this turns off, this turns off, but this is still powered. So this gives this the delay that allows all this gravel to drop back down before it then shuts itself again. So it's basically aligning and splitting into 2 and then joining back up into 1 again. But just one's a lot slower than the other. So anyway, let's come up here. If you remember coming out the clock, we get to this one that goes up here. It comes up to this block which powers this. This signal looks like it's going nowhere, but obviously when this is powered, it is powering this block because it is now there. It's powered by the clock, so it's a pulsing signal on off. Likewise, this is pushing the blocks that come up from there. You'll notice the initial firing. This will do nothing. This will fire, but it won't push anything out. That's just, well, kind of needs it really. It works. And I think we'll leave it at it works. Getting the timing right has been very difficult. I spent ages trying to calculate the length that this needs. Failed dismally. They would talk with Ether about it. His logic was the same as mine. It doesn't seem to work, so I've just had to keep adding repeaters on that delay until it's counted enough. If it goes too many, this piston down here will do an extra push, but there's none of this column left. So it does an empty push, which means that piston does a down and up, but nothing fills the gap. So you get this gravel dropping, which then has that funny compression problem where it falls in on itself and you lose a block. And obviously once it's lost a block, it's pretty useless. Boom. Oh, what? 3? That's only power 1, but... So, there is that. This will all be covered by floor eventually. Left it open obviously so we can have a look around. Should we watch it in action again? So you see that's lit up. There's our pulsing signals coming up there, going through that. This is opened and watch carefully. Whee! And close. Very elegant. Didn't catch it. Let's watch it again. Open. Oh. Yeah, do it too quick and the clock thing is still recycling itself. Again, you have to time this one here switching off before this comes to its natural release state, which is on, in which case this block will stay there, that will retract and none of the gravel will drop. Enderman stealing my grass in the distance. I see you, buddy. Yeah, so all this is part of the extra crap that I don't need anymore. So we can remove that. that is that for the underground bits. Now let's get up here. First off, we need to cull a little bit of this. Now this is where it comes up. This is the hole in the ceiling under the tree where it's pushing it up. This, if you're not aware, is what they oops, hiccups. It's what they call a smart piston. Basically, when a block is placed here, or in this case pushed up from below into this space, this power is then sent through, which then powers the block, which then pushes the block out of the way and resets itself like so. There's no way of doing this smart piston to push upwards, so what we have to do is the reason for that is this block or this block will power this block or this block, which in turn will power the piston, so it'll always be up. So what we have to do is we have to piggyback off this one, basically. If this was gravel it was pushing up, we'd have to put a redstone torch on this wall here, so this was inverted. But as it is, it just comes straight out. Now the only thing is, this has to be a longer delay than this one, because this needs to push onto that, and then it pushes it up like that. It's got a gap of 2 on that as well. So there you go. See, so that's on 2. That's on 4. Now, what this will do is we're pushing it up because this smooth stone is 10 blocks, and we want 12 because we're going to ship it over here and along here and down where this wood column is now. And this is going to go all the way down to the bottom. Thump. Under here is a redstone torch, and what will happen is when it gets to the bottom here, there'll be a row of pistons on here facing this way, and we'll have a power out from here, thus, so that when it's pushed down and we've got a stack of 12 and it gets down to here, this will then come around here and it will fire all these pistons and it will push the column along one. And it'll repeat and it'll push it along and it'll repeat and push it along until it gets all the way to the end. Then we will have a wall of logs, 12 long, 12 high. So that's 144 logs. And then we will have another one of these smart pistons under here, and this will be tied to a 144 sized bank of pistons, which when this wall reaches the end will then push the whole wall this way. And this will continue. This wall will come to the end here, push it this way, push it this way, blah 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 blah, until you've got 12 by 12 by 12. And I will leave you to work out how many logs that is. But it's a lot. So that is the plan. Now, like he was saying, prove it. Hoi! Oh, that was close. So.